know what I'm saying? It was real nice.
Okay, let's take a look at this one. We've got three shapes here. We've got a rectangle, half circle, and a triangle. Let's find the half circle first. How do we find its area?
10 squared times 5 divided by 2.
5 times 10 squared divided by 2. 157? Probably. 0.08? No, sure. 157. That's not. Then B here is a rectangle that is 30 by 20. So 600 inches squared. PC over here is going to be a little bit more work. This side is 20, right? So we're going to have a perimeter of 20 plus 26 plus 26, otherwise known as 72. We're going to have a semi-perimeter of 72 over 2, otherwise known as 36. So our area is the square root of 36 times 36 minus 20 is 16. I'm taking a little shortcut here. 36 minus 26 is 10. 36 minus 26 is 10 again. So the square root of 36 times 16 times 10 times 10. 240 is that area. So that all adds up to 997. How many got 997? How many were on your way just ran out of time? How many don't care and never want to see that problem again? Okay. Sure. We looked at that whole Pythagorean rule, or Pythagorean theorem, whatever you want to call it earlier, to verify that a triangle is a right triangle. What if we go the other direction? What if I tell you that it's a right triangle? And I tell you that this side here is 10 inches, and this side here is 24 inches, and I don't know what this side is, and I want to find it. Well, remember that relationship is a squared plus b squared has to equal c squared. So I could just as well find a missing piece of that. I'm going to label my sides A and B. The 10 inch and 24 inch sides are my legs because they make the right angle. They make the L. The missing side X is C. So I can put them in over here. What am I going to put in? So a squared becomes 10 squared. B squared becomes 24 squared equals, we'll put X in for C. And yeah, 10 squared is 100. 24 squared is 576. We add 100 plus 576 is 676 equals X squared. So now we got to find X, which is just going to be the square root, which is 26 inches. Not so bad? Makes sense? That's it.
What if you just left it at 656? Oh, no.
656? Yeah. That's X squared, so you have to square root it to find the length.
What if you left there in the test, you can mark it around?
Yes.
Half wrong.
Ah, depends on my mood. In your notes, find that missing side. So anyway, We'll label this ABC. 7 squared plus 24 squared equals x squared. 49 plus 576 is x squared. We add those together to get 625. And then square it to get 25. How many get 25 millimeters? Good deal.
Right.
You got it? What if I give you something like that? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. But now I have the long side, I'm missing one of the short sides. I can rearrange the formula to be C squared minus A squared equals B squared. So since I have the long side, I have the hypotenuse, I'm going to do 37 squared, that'll be C. This will be A, and my missing side will be B. So 37 squared minus 12 squared is going to be B squared. 37 squared is 1,369 minus 12 squared is 144. Equals B squared. 1369 minus 144 is 1225. And we have to square root. This is 35 inches. Make sense? Any questions? So now since I have the long side, since I have the hypotenuse and one of the short sides and I'm missing one of the other legs, it's going to be the hypotenuse squared minus the leg squared. Gives me the other leg squared. So you just plug in the numbers and go from there. Oh, let's see here. I'm not what that means here. Let's go 10 inches here. $26 inches here. Find the area of that triangle. How'd you approach this problem? Had to find the other side. Are we adding or subtracting? Subtracting. So 26 squared minus 10 squared. 26 squared is 676. 10 squared is 100. We subtract to get 576. Square root to get 24. So our area is 10 by 24. Divided by 2, 120 square inches. How many of you had 120? Good deal. So just a little bit of a review. Let's say this is a parallelogram and this is 20 inches here. And let's say this side here is 13 inches. How do I find its area? Do I do 20 times 13? No, why not? So the two dimensions have to be perpendicular. They have to make right angles. I would need to know this dimension across here, right? So if I know that that's 12 inches, now the area is found by doing what? That 20 inches times 12 inches. Do I divide by 2? No, it's not a triangle. It's 240 inches squared. So what I'm going to do is this. This is 22 inches. This is 17 inches. I'm going to tell you that the distance from here to here is 8 inches. In your notes, figure out how to find the area of that parallel. What do you have to do? Find the missing side. How do we find it? 17 squared minus 8 squared is going to give us that side squared, right? 17 squared is 289. 8 squared is 64. Subtracts to give us 225. We square root to get 15. Now what? 2 times 15 is 330 inches squared. Not bad? How do I find the area of a trapezoid? Anybody remember? Okay, yeah, if you recall, it becomes a rectangle. We cut off the little ends and we square it off, right? We flip this little piece up to fill that, we flip that piece up to fill that. It's a rectangle. The height of the rectangle is still the 12. The length is just the average of the bases. So what we're going to do, that area, we're going to do the 20 plus 30 divided by 2, then multiply that by that height of 12. Well, 20 plus 30 is 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25, times 12 is 300 inches squared. This is a trapezoid, but one end is square. Let's say that this up here is 18 inches. This is 23 inches. And this is 13 inches. Find the area for me in your note. We need to find that height, right? To find that height, we've got the 13. What else do we know? This is 5. The difference between 23 and 18, that has to be 5. So, we're subtracting 13 squared minus 5 squared is going to give us that length squared. 13 squared is 169. 5 squared is 25, which is 144. The square root gives us that this is 12 inches. So that translates into our area. 18 plus 23 over 2 times 12. If you do that out, you're going to get 246 square inches. Good deal. So we can find areas. To find a perimeter, (18 plus 23). That's my averaging my bases. That's my formula for the area.
It's not a whole trapezoid. It's not multiply.
No, it's at 18 plus. You got to add them to average them together. Just like up here, we add them. Perimeter is found by just adding up all the sides. So if I have a parallelogram Pretend that looks like a parallelogram. It's a little lopsided. If I know that this is 30 inches and this here is 22 inches, to find the perimeter, I just add up 30 inches plus 22 inches plus 30 inches plus 22 inches, right? Adding that all up is going to give me 104 inches is my perimeter. Make sense? So what if I give you this? Come on. So if I give you something like this, if I tell you this is 20 inches, and I tell you that the area is 240 square inches, can we find the perimeter? Say yes. Because we know the area is found by taking 20 times this length here, right? So this length, I can just go backwards. I divide this by 20. 20 inches, that has to be 12 inches. Does that make sense? Now I would need to give you a little bit more information. I would have to at least tell you that this here is a certain length. So what if I tell you that that is 9 inches there? I can find this length here by doing what? 9 squared plus 12 squared equals that length squared. 9 squared is 81. 12 squared, 144. Adding them together is 225. Equals that side squared. I square root it. I now have that is 15 inches. So now I can find my perimeter. My perimeter is 20 plus 15 plus 20 plus 15, or 70 inches. 20, 15, 20, and 15. So that Pythagorean theorem, Pythagorean rule for finding missing sides of a right triangle has a ton of applications.
How did you find the 9?
I had to give you the 9. Well, let's do one a little bit more creative. See, that's 8 inches. I'm saying that this corner is directly above that corner. And I'm going to tell you that the area of this is 120 inches squared. In your notes, find the perimeter. So I know the area is 120. It's going to be found by multiplying this dimension by that dimension, correct? So if I divide this by 8 inches, I get 15 inches. So this must be 15 inches. I know this side must be 8 inches. I can find this side by using the right triangle. 8 squared plus 15 squared equals, if I call that x, x squared. 64 and 225 add up to 289. So square rooting that gives me 17 inches. So I get a perimeter 17 plus 8 plus 17 plus 8, otherwise known as 50 inches. 17 plus 8 is 17 plus 8. How many got that one? Cool. This next one's kind of fun. You bet. Sense a little sarcasm there. just a touch. I do this poorly. I'm going to erase that 15. So that should be 6 inches there. And all the way across here, maybe 41 inches. Find the perimeter. Try that in your notes. See if you can come up with it. So here, you can find the length of this side by doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What's it end up being? 10 inches. We've got a similar situation over here. We know this still has to be 8 inches. What's this? 15. You got 6 here, right? You know this piece from here to here has to be 20. That has to be 15. 8 and 15, so a squared plus b squared gives you, c here would be 17 inches. So now we can add those all up. 41 plus 17 plus 20 plus 10 gives us 88 inches of perimeter. Okay, I just passed out a packet for you. In that packet, page 156 through 157 talks about these areas and perimeters that we've been talking about.